Well, we're honing in on the tech space for our stock of the hour, and one private company entrenched in the AI space that has a unique perspective is Uniphore. It's an open standard business AI platform backed by the likes of Nvidia, AMD, and Snowflake. And I'm pleased to say that joining us live is Umesh Sachdev. He is the CEO and co-founder of Uniphore. Great to have you in studio with us, and just set the scene as to what services Uniphore provides, because as far as I understand it, you help your enterprise clients really sort of build up their own AI agents to help with some of the tasks that they have to do.
Well, it's great to be with both of you. Thank you for having me. That's a good place to start. What Uniphore does for customers is we think of ourselves as an end-to-end data and AI orchestration platform. The architecture of software in the AI era has shifted. Customers need to use their own data, these enterprises, and then prepare that to fine-tune models and ultimately build AI agents. So Uniphore helps these enterprises own their entire AI stack such that they have full control and sovereignty. We serve about 2,500 enterprise customers, several hundred of which are Fortune 500 firms.
So give me a sense, though, because, there's been so much talk about why we need sort of this layer of software companies in this process. And I know there's been a lot of hyperbole about, the SaaS apocalypse and, the end of all these software companies, if you will. But give me a sense as to what Uniphore actually looks like in this sort of new world going forward. And I'm not talking about today in the year now, but if you're looking 5 years down the road, where do you fit in?
Well, three things. First, if you're a large insurance company or a bank or a telecom business, what differentiates you from your neighbor these days when everyone has access to the same LLMs is how each company is able to use their own proprietary data to fine-tune these models. Mm-hmm. The second thing is, think about every business is unique. There's context. There's somebody who's worked in customer service for 30 years and they know all the tribal knowledge of the company. Unless AI agents understand that context, they won't be able to drive full automation. So that's the first thing that a platform like Uniphore does, allowing these companies to harness their own data, to fine-tune models, and then look into their context, their historic past, and train AI agents. That's the first thing. The second thing, which is emerging, is tokenomics. It wasn't a topic even about a year ago, but now everyone's worried about we burned through our token budgets this year. And what Uniphore did was a choice that we made 3 years ago. We said, instead of going after frontier large language models, most enterprise use cases will be served by open weights, small language models. So we allow these enterprises to drive token costs down. The final thing we do is sovereignty. Said differently, full control, optionality.
Right.
Nobody wants to be locked into a model, a GPU, a hyperscaler. We give them the optionality.
Let's tie together a few of those points, because you mentioned that, the AI agents, they need to understand the context of the company. And then what you were saying about tokenomics, we were having a really interesting conversation a few weeks ago that when it comes especially to agentic AI, for a lot of enterprise, it's not so much FOMO, it's FOMU. It's like this fear of messing up. There's this concern out there that, some of these AI agents are basically going to run wild and make crazy decisions and spend a whole bunch of money in the process. And I wonder, whether you're still seeing that. Have you seen sort of a transition there, or are companies getting more comfortable with the idea of handing off some of these processes to AI agents?
Well, first, the big trend, you hit it very rightly. Uniphore does business across the world. We have customers in US and Europe and Asia. I can tell you, first of all, the big trend is enterprises in America are about a year, 15 months ahead of the counterparts in Europe and Asia. And the one reason that keeps coming up is Wall Street. Shareholders are putting pressure on boards and CEOs to say, in earnings, we need to hear that story. And that's driving this urgency to move fast. Now, when you move fast, sometimes you break glass. And that's beginning to happen. So the concern that you raise is, how do we put guardrails? How do we put governance? And the one example that I always tell people is these AI agents reason. I have a teenage daughter. She does the right thing all the time, but she wants to reason. Can I do it the short way? Can I do it the right way? AI agents need to do that. But when you run a regulated industry like banking or healthcare, sometimes you want these AI agents to follow a set of rules. And so new technologies such as Neuro-Symbolic agents, new research fields are beginning to help enterprises put guardrails around this.